As we celebrate our 60th International Convention, we look back at our journey, at our foundation, where we've come from and where we're going. This convention is a celebration of our story. It's a story of perseverance, of bravely meeting the moment. Over the past 3 years, you, our members, have been a symbol of courage in the face of danger. You've shown the world that our work has always been essential. Throughout our history, our struggles and sacrifices have only made us stronger. This is the legacy of the ATU. The seeds of our labor union were planted when the first horse-drawn street railway opened in New York City in 1827. Dissatisfaction with horrendous working conditions and a series of transit worker strikes led to the formation of the Amalgamated Association of Street Railway Employees of America in September 1892. 60 conventions later, many of the battles we are fighting today are similar to those our members fought and died for 50, 75, 100, and 125 years ago. Health benefits, wage rates, retirement protection, the amount of free time we have to spend with our families, and being safe on the job are all rooted in the sacrifices of the leaders and members who came before us. As we look back at the past 3 challenging years, the ATU has been building on this legacy of determination. Together we fought, and together we won.
The World Health Organization has now confirmed what many epidemiologists have been saying for weeks. The coronavirus is a pandemic.
In March 2020, an unprecedented pandemic hit the world. From the very first day, our members were the heroes transporting essential workers to the front lines and keeping their communities moving. COVID-19 has infected more than 90 million people in the US and Canada and killed more than 1.4 million. The ATU lost 220 members to the deadly virus, with thousands more becoming infected. Thousands of our members were laid off. At the outbreak, ATU International set up a command center to work with the locals to provide them with critical information and assistance to protect the health and safety of our essential worker members. We demanded urgent action to secure protection, including PPE and bus driver shields. We pushed Congress to ensure our employers implement comprehensive plans to protect our members' jobs and reduce the risk of exposure to the riding public, as well as keep our transit systems afloat. Together we fought, and together we won.
When the pandemic hit and most unions were downsizing, I felt this is an opportunity for us to maybe do better in organizing. I started to realize the fights we were doing, and since the pandemic, we're nearly 3,000 more members we have organized in our union. I still worry and I still feel for the members we lost, but looking back, I think we did a great job. We're stronger together.
We have the power to prioritize people over profits. In October 2019, over 120 workers walked off the job at Cinderbed Bus Garage in Northern Virginia. It was the first strike of a Metro bus garage in 41 years. Local 689 Washington, D.C. members stood on the picket line for 84 days and resulted in the reversal of Ramada's path towards privatization. We have the power to demand dignity. In May 2020, fed up local 1181 New York paratransit workers employed by private contractor MV Transportation walked off the job in Brooklyn and Staten Island. After 2 weeks and 2 days of federal mediation, more than 570 workers secured a strong contract.
Live outside the headquarters of the company that operates the circulator. Workers are starting to gather there on 17th Street Northeast.
We have the power to shut down cities. After a unified and strong 3-day strike, 150 ATU Local 689 bus operators for the DC circulator voted overwhelmingly to approve a collective bargaining agreement with RAPDEV. As the pandemic showed us, politics play a key role in ensuring our wages, benefits, and job security. When politicians have our back, they work to pass laws that keep us safe on the job and our transit systems running. Joe Biden laid out a clear vision to help us build a better America. We held a town hall, we got out the vote, we called and knocked on doors and talked to our coworkers and friends. With the help of the ATU, Joe Biden ran for president and won with the message of growing our economy from the bottom up and the middle out. In Georgia, we did what nobody thought we could. We won the Senate runoff elections, ushering in a majority in the legislature. Our local 732 and 1324 had a plan. They mobilized through member-to-member engagement and got out the vote with the help of the Ossoff-Warnock Express bus to deliver a win for the state and the entire country. In Alberta, Local 569 Edmonton and Local 583 Calgary mobilized to elect pro-transit, pro-worker candidates.
We got an infrastructure bill with a lot of money for transit, the most in the history that I'm being told that I see. And we have safety measures in there, workforce development money in there, grants in there, apprenticeship programs that we can get going in our union, which we stepped up and built our department up and we're doing.
We didn't let the pandemic slow our organizing power. Instead, we turned to Zoom to conduct high-level trainings to empower our members and locals with the skills, strategies, and tactics to win at the bargaining table, in public campaigns, and in the halls of government. On the ground, we've continued setting the standard for transit apprenticeships with our innovative apprenticeship and workforce development programs that change our members' lives for the better. Our union has weathered intense strife before, but the very foundations of our society were shaken in the past 3 years. The threat to our lives and our livelihoods, from violence and assaults to automation and privatization, along with upheavals from climate change and major social unrest, proves that we need solidarity now more than ever.
Lives lost after a gunman opened fire at the city's rail yard.
In May 2021, the ATU suffered an incredible loss at the Santa Clara VTA rail yard, where our local 265 San Jose, California members work. Ultimately, we lost 10 brothers, 9 on that day and 1 from the trauma of the horrific event. The ATU has now taken on the mental health crisis by spreading awareness and demanding better mental health care for our members. Nobody should ever have to worry about walking into their jobs in fear for their safety.
A shooting on a city bus, the popular health line. A stabbing on the train platform at the airport. This is scary enough for anyone using public transportation, let alone for the drivers and operators.
Not a week goes by that we don't hear about bus operators and other transit workers being punched, stabbed, yelled at, spit on, shot at, and worse. From Winnipeg, Manitoba to Phoenix, Arizona, assaults on ATU members and all transit workers have become an epidemic. The ATU secured important worker safety protections in the bipartisan infrastructure bill and at the state and provincial level to combat these senseless attacks on transit workers.
Our members being spit at, punched, shot, beat, showed me that we need to constantly be on these politicians, constantly on these agencies that, no, we're not sweeping this under the rug. You're wrong. This is not the way our members, your employees, should be treated. And you need to do something about it. And if not, we're going to call you out.
Climate change is real, and we've been preparing. The zero-emission bus market share in the transit industry has been rapidly growing, and the ATU has been at the forefront of examining and addressing the immediate and long-term impact on our members at both the bargaining table and the legislative level. The ATU is fighting to ensure that frontline workers are at the center of conversations regarding automation and microtransit. Research on autonomous vehicles for public transit confirms what we've been saying. There is no substitute for experienced transit workers, regardless of the technology. Our power is in our numbers. Our power is standing for our values at all times. Our power is in our partnerships working to change the world as we know it. Our power is in our solidarity. While the world watched, ATU stood in solidarity with the nonviolent demonstrations calling for real change in response to the murders of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and countless others at the hands of police brutality and racism. Labor unions have a long history of using their power to advocate for justice. Since 1919, when delegates at convention voted to support women's suffrage, the ATU has put equality at the center of our work, most recently with our initiatives on women's equity and gender equality to ensure all our members are no longer mistreated, disrespected, and discriminated against in the workplace and our union halls. As workers, there are so many heroes among us who go above and beyond the call of duty to enhance and even save the lives of those around us. At the International, we hear story after story of our members talking people down from bridges, driving to safety after violence erupts on your bus, and even helping to save victims of human trafficking or abuse. You make us proud to be ATU. It isn't always easy, but nothing worth doing ever is. In fact, our struggles are what make us more resilient. In our darkest days, it's our unity that keeps us together. It's the strength of our diversity, our courage to stand up, and our spirit to fight back that makes us the ATU. Throughout it all, we've proven that we will always be
ATU, stronger together!
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 En la unión nos mantenemos fuertes y unidos.
ATU, stronger together!
ATU, stronger together!
ATU, stronger together!
Believe in your members. They'll be there for you. Because at the end of the day, we're stronger together.